Yo, what is up, party people? I said we would be back and consistent with the player prop streams, and we're back and consistent. Back to back nights. We had the one game slates. What a game!
Yeah, consistent. Yeah.
Detroit, talk about consistent. Our boy. Can I say our boy, Killian?
Detroit basketball.
Dude, just not. It wasn't even like a good like. It wasn't even like a good game, Killian. Like you looked pretty okay out there. Like he was good, man, and clutch at the end. Just a good game. Got a little spooky at the end. OT. But
yeah,
man, how about Bogey though? I feel like we're excited about Killian. It's just like real quick. We're gonna get into some player props. Just a quick little Piston thing before we get into a recap of how the night went, and then getting into the plays. You think the Pistons? You want them to trade Bogdanovich?
Not yet.
That trade value's got to look pretty good, even at his age.
It's just Troy Weaver doing Troy Weaver things. I'm sick of people.
Let's get a little 30. Let's get a couple 30+ bombs in these stretches of that arcade. Now we can. We're not going to be on our Pistons bowl. Let's recap the plays. We'll take a look. So I'll pull up. We had 3 last night, and honestly, I'm going to be real with you guys. We don't always have amazing nights, but man,
chill.
No, I'm just like, it's one thing to sit down here and be like, look at us, we're the boys, we're crazy, 3 for 3, but 3 for 3, man, in an OT game. But it wasn't just an OT game for Luka to hit. Stu was sitting at 9, right? It wasn't 10, it was 9. So it almost was a hook miss 2 out of 3 if that game would have ended. But Luka obviously ended up smashing in OT. Man, it was close. I was really worried at the end because Luka missed a couple threes at the end. He shot really well from 3 last game, and then he missed like 2 or 3 in a row at that final end stretch.
Yeah, he hit in regulation barely.
I think he had 31. I'm being fully honest.
31. Oh, it was 31 and a half. Wait, I got a 30 and a half. I'm confused.
Well, you might have played it it was 30 and a half on some other books. But it was 31 and a half on a lot of other books and Underdog as well.
I didn't realize I was putting that out then.
It's funny. I texted you last night when it went to OT, but no. So Luka hit, smash, and Stu was pretty close, man. He shot. That
was my plant my flag pick.
That was the plant the flag. I got a little nervous, but
it hit in overtime too. So not only was it under, but it hit an overtime under. It was very close. It was scary. It looked great. I think he had 3 points at halftime. Had a nice third quarter. Was at 9, and then 9 I think for the entire fourth quarter and entire overtime. And I was just biting my nails. Please.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And then Bogey. I mean, this is the third one on the sheet, but a holy smash, Bogey! Yeah, what a game, dude. He was at what, like? Was he 30 in regulation?
I think he was.
He might have been.
He was close to 30 regulation. I think he might have been, because overtime was a good amount of Bagley, Ivy, Hayes.
He had outscored Luka, I think, right before the end of regulation, and that was just like,
definitely,
yeah.
And then I know Ivy had a decent overtime. Bagley had a decent overtime. I think Killian did. I don't think Bogey did much in overtime.
No, I don't think so either. But real quick too, and not to just like toot our own whistle before we get into these games, but I'll toot our own whistle. I don't see anyone in the chat. Say hello if you're in the chat and let us know what plays you're looking at today. We'll get into the games. But man, 2 other plays we loved. How about Killian assist? That wasn't on Underdog, but it was one of our favorite plays. 5.5 hit that. How about Bagley points? That was one that almost crept into the. Man, this could have been a 5 out of 5. But let's, we're not here to harp on how well we did last night. We're here to focus on today. So let's get into it.
I will. Just to keep us in check, one more thing I will say.
It was a really good transition, but go ahead.
Could have also been not a 5 out of 5 because we were big on Luka rebounds and we barely pivoted. So
that's true. But we also, we were torn between points and rebounds. So it wasn't like we left off one for a totally different play,
Right.
But yeah, we almost went Luka PRA, honestly. We ended up, I think we didn't go.
PRA would have hit, though.
Right. No, I'm saying that, there was a couple Luka things that we all thought we're probably going to hit, and that was the one that didn't, because assists, he was at 9 flat. But let's get into the games. First up here, it's the thumbnail. Trae Young. He's questionable with the shoulder injury. We've got the Nuggets, Hawks. So Trae's questionable. I think their next game isn't until, I want to say it's Monday. So
after this game.
Yeah, I could be wrong. If you want to fact check me, they definitely don't have a back to back. So I know a lot of times with these questionable injuries, that's kind of the first thought is, oh, is this guy going to be out? Yeah. So he's got a lot of time. I think that if he's like feeling okay enough, I expect Trey to play, especially when you get, a couple of days off. But I mean, obviously we don't know what's going on in the background. So a lot of teams will rest these guys, for these stretches. But talk about injuries, man. Atlanta, Collins, Hunter, and Holiday out. I know Bogdanovich.
That's not an injury. That's an infirmary.
Yeah, and Bogdanovich as well. He's looking like he might make his return, but obviously haven't seen that yet, so it's hard to project him to play. But obviously a lot of injuries for the Hawks. For Nuggets side, I expect Murray to play. MPJ is out, and it's a 2.5 point spread, 233 total. Really, really nice total in this one, and a close spread with a lot of these injuries to these Hawks guys. So we can get right into this one. So let's start off points. Yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting game. I think, just like overall, I know Jokic has had a pretty weird season. Just from an overall like shooting perspective, just hasn't been shooting a ton. Man, we got a 20.5 line for Jamal Murray, who's had some solid games over the most recent stretch.
Oh, how can we not get an AJ Griffin line?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting any of the Hawks guys on underdog Trey obviously is a huge question mark and a big impact. No, I would really like a Griffin line somewhere. I think he's a guy that should see, just out of necessity, right? No Collins, no Hunter. That's just perfect for a guy like Griffin, who's played pretty well. I think I feel pretty good about him.
Yeah.
Any of these Denver guys, obviously we're not seeing lines for a lot of the Hawks guys. Are any of these points lines appealing to you? I know Murray's a little high, and obviously Jokic it's a good line for Jokic, but man, he just hasn't been shooting a ton.
Yeah, I don't love Jokic. The usage and consistency is always scary to bet on. I kind of like Bruce Brown here at 13.5. I know there's a little value on the under. He's got a newer matchup with AJ Griffin. The Hawks are typically pretty good against the 3 spot, but they don't typically start AJ Griffin at the 3. So I think that kind of line could be skewed a little bit for that reason. He's been shooting a good amount. He's been shooting close to double digits in almost half this month. So I like his usage, especially if this is like a game ridden with injuries. On either side, right? Jamal Murray is questionable. Jeff Green questionable. Michael Porter Jr. is out. So I think there's still an opening of offensive usage there for Bruce Brown, even though like KCP, Aaron Gordon, Jokic are there. 13.5 is not a lot. And I kind of like the spot for him. Maybe go PRA for him instead because his peripherals have been really nice. But other than that, it's like I don't love anything else here.
Yeah, and I do want to make a quick note about Jokic just because I think people in the player prop community can have a tendency to look at specific opportunities. So, right, if you look at Jokic this season, hasn't been scoring a ton, and if you look at his games without Michael Porter Jr., he's averaging 27 points. But if you really look at it closer, it's pretty heavily impacted by a 39-point game in that OKC game. He had a 32-point game against Houston. But if you look at a lot of these other games, I mean, he had a 7 for 9 game where he didn't really shoot a ton in 28 minutes. 7 for 13. Like the volume hasn't even then been that greater. It's just been a couple pretty high efficiency games. So I know people can tend to be led astray. And I'm not even saying that Jokic is an under. I'm just saying that I don't love this line, which looks good, right? This looks like a great line in this total. But I'd be interested in looking at Jokic elsewhere in this game. So I'm cool to kind of take some peeks at some assist lines and PRA.
Yeah, Bruce Brown's PRA is at a pretty favorable line. 22.5 on underdog. Good value there. It's at minus 125. So this juice is on the over on other books. And 22.5 is not very high. That's like assuming he's got around 5 rebounds and 5 assists ish, which is a favorable, like a pretty generous line, I think, with like the points upside. So 22.5, I mean, he would have hit that last game against the Rockets, obviously on his little stretch there in the middle of November. He would have been hitting this pretty consistently. I don't think there's any reason for him not to be in the closer to 30 minutes again or in the 30 minutes. So I kind of like that 22.5. seems pretty low for a guy that's going to play probably 30 minutes in a high-paced matchup.
Yeah, I mean, what is he? He's averaging like 35 minutes in games without, MPJ, and he's been like a 14, 6 and 5 game. And I know a couple of those have been like, you look at the games with Murray and stuff, and obviously, that's a bigger impact. But still, I think it's a good spot. I think it's a good line for him too.
Yeah, I mean, this Hawks pace up spot is really nice. I think he fits well with that. And I believe Jamal Murray's been with him for a lot of these games. Not that triple-double game, but most of those games, Jamal Murray's been there. Michael Porter Jr. not being there obviously is very helpful. So that's probably my favorite play this night that I'm seeing so far.
Yeah. No, and obviously defensive matchup wise, I mean, you just you're not going to sleep on Jamal Murray, right? That's something we really look at in these guard spots, especially with the Hawks, right?
Yeah.
For sure. Do you remember the Bruce Brown PRA and plays from last season in some of these stretches without the Nets guys?
Yeah, I do remember that.
All right, cool. Let's peek over at assists. I do like that shout. I'm happy we got to take a look at that. I think that's a really good look. Peek at Jokic, 8.5. Murray. Ooh, I would love to see Murray at 4.5. I don't know if we'd get it.
Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting because you get some of these lines on some of these other books, but yeah, it would probably be a 5 flat, I'd imagine, if we end up seeing it. Any of these appealing to you? Do you are you intrigued by Jokic 8.5, or is it too high?
Intrigued, yeah, but I'm not gonna take it. Yeah, and the other stuff we don't have on the lines yet, so because we're still waiting for the Trae Young news, so not a ton of lines that we actually have up, which makes sense. So, yeah, we could probably move on. I'll take a quick peek at threes here. Yeah, nothing. There's no lines up for threes yet, so we could probably move on here.
Yeah, cool. I'm cool to move on. Yeah, I think Jokic. I would definitely. I don't know if definitely is the right word. I'd probably prefer to play Jokic assists over points. Slightly, but I don't love either of those too much. But yeah, we can move on to, let's go Wizards Hornets. So we can go back up to here. I'll just scroll down so we can see this clear. So obviously big injury news for this game obviously is no LaMelo. So you're seeing the lineups here. I think that's probably obviously no Hayward as well. No Dennis Smith. Guard spot, but yeah, it's 225.5 total, 3-point spread for the Wizards.
Rozier back as well.
Terry Oubre.
So we've got Oubre at 19.5. I don't hate that. I mean, like, there's only 2 guys on this whole entire team that are going to shoot the ball more than 15 times, right? And that's Terry and Oubre.
Yeah. And so, it's kind of funny, like, you probably give the slight nod if you're, like, predicting shot attempts. It's probably pretty close between those 2 guys. Oubre's just been shooting so much. I'd give the nod to Terry if I had to pick, but, I mean, Oubre's just shooting so much. It's pretty good value. I wonder what his 3-point line looks like versus his points.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering as well.
I'm just going to peek at that. Just because he's been shooting pretty decent volume from 3. PJ 1.5. Yeah, if that's 2.5, it's kind of okay.
I mean, I want to lean Oubre over Terry for points. I just feel better about Oubre's efficiency. His field goal percentage is a bit more consistent. And, I mean, in the last 5 games with Terry Rozier, he's shot 21 times, 20 times, 15 times, 21 times.
Yeah. If you just look at, like, Oubre, like, if you just, like, do a game log check and you just, like, are typing in Oubre stats into Google, dude, these shot attempts would make you think he's, like, the best or second best player on a team because he just is shooting like 20 times, like pretty consistently.
And he's a dog, not to discredit.
Oh no, not at all. I'm just saying that like that consistent volume, it doesn't make you think Kelly Oubre, Yeah, but it's what he's been doing and what he's kind of had to do for this team, right? There's so many injuries with no LaMelo, no Hayward. Like it's been a lot of Oubre. Shout out to my locked on fantasy team. Love you, Kelly. Keep shooting.
We've got Terry Rozier at 2.5 threes. Really good like value on Underdog. Most of these books have him at 140, 135, 140, 142, 145, 159, and then on Underdog you can get it for even value. So it looks like really good value, but like usually I like look at my lips at that and really want to take it, but I'm not. I mean, we talk about the threes, right? There's high variance anyway, so it's like if you're looking at your lips at value, the threes are probably going to be the least satiating one. But
he hasn't shot well this season from three.
Man, no, but the like volume 30%. Can and probably will be there. But yeah, he's got to be shooting better. And that's what I was saying about Oubre, right? They're probably going to shoot pretty similarly in attempts, and Oubre just shoots much closer to a 48, 50% on a nightly basis than Terry does.
I do like the line and the spot. It's really hard if you just like look at his most recent stretch. Like, so he had this 5 for 16 game, but man, a lot of these games around there, 1 for 6, 1 for 3, 0 for 6, 1 for 4, 1 for 8. And then he had a little stretch, 4 for 9, 3 for 10, 5 for 13. But on the season, man, shooting 30%, like we talked about the same thing with Sadiq, and obviously in a different tone, right? Because we're Pistons fans and it was a 1-game slate, so we were looking at Sadiq Bey more closely. But it's a similar thing where I know Terry's a better 3-point shooter than what he's been this season, but it's just really hard to take that. Would you prefer to play that over his points though? At 21.5? I bet if you look at this season, he's actually covered that points line probably pretty close, if not slightly better than threes. But it's one of those, like, I don't believe that though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now, and that correlation is.
It's probably pretty. Yeah, it's probably pretty like 50-50, where they're like closer than typically when we look at a guy like Klay Thompson or something. When it's just the percentage of volume of 3 points is much larger than just overall field goal. But yeah, I don't know if we need to spend a ton of time on this one. I think we both agree like we would go over if we had to play, but it's just it's a really good line. Like, it's these kind of like, even on 3-pointers, man, when you're able to get these like 150, it's just like really appealing. But yeah, I don't know if I'm in love with it. So you'd rather play Oubre points than Terry threes or points?
Yes, but also, I mean, we got like what, 11, 10, 12 games.
Yeah, let's peek at assists. I think we got a little too into it. You tie me down. Wait, what?
Excuse me?
Keep me grounded. Wait, that kind of worked out a little bit. All right, peeking at assists here. Kind of be interested to see where Terry is at. Okay, 5.5.
Oubre had 2 assists. That's so funny.
That boy does not miss.
Terry's at 5.5. Yeah. Beal's at 5.5.
Yeah, you got Monty Morris at 4.5 too. Some of these are like sneaky appealing.
I think I like Beal most at 5.5.
Yeah.
I like KP's points too. I mean, Charlotte's really bad against the 5. They were last year. They are again this year. But the KP fine line. But I like Beal assists. What's Beal's points at actually? He's been shooting pretty well lately, in a good amount. Like the Bradley Beal that the name carries himself has been coming back. Hi.
We're good. I have no idea what happened, but it's okay. Good thing we don't discuss anything too bad in the Discord. Nobody go back and pause.
23.5.
Yeah, he has been shooting a little bit more. Pretty efficient shooting this season. So I think it kind of makes it look like Beal has returned. You know what I'm talking about? You got these like 9 for 14 games. 11 for 19.
I'm a believer in the high hand though.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I mean, the assist numbers have been pretty decent too. Obviously, on the season, he's been like a 12.6 potential assist guy, and that really hasn't been with a lot of injuries to the guys around him, right? That's just they've kind of Beal's the one that's been hurt the most between KP and Kuz, and even Monty Morris too. So I think that assist line's pretty intriguing.
Yeah, he had 5 last time they played, 26, 4, and 5. KP had 12, 8, and 2, so kind of a poor game actually from KP. So, I mean, he had 5 assists on a KP night where he went 4 for 19, right? because that's what I'm thinking, right? I like
Yeah,
the score, but I really like that assist line. And in this matchup against the Hornets, I would think KP can eat. Other guys can eat. It's a pace up spot for
yeah.
the Wizards.
13 potential. Sorry to interject there. 13 potential in that
Yeah.
five assist game against the Hornets last time they played. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously that's insanely unlucky.
I'm gonna write down Beal assists 5.5. I like that one.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of a nod to like what we've seen from him this season. And you look at these games that should be decent pace, decent scoring. Obviously, you're missing LaMelo and Dennis and some of these guards that kind of help the pace. But man, the rest of this Hornets team is still going to be decent paced. Just the way that like Terry plays and Oubre as well. Those guys are just really quick to shoot.
Yeah. I admittedly I went to the next one because I was getting ready to look at these Miami Boston lines, thinking, oh, there's probably not going to be lines because we have another infirmary of players at a game time decision for Miami.
Yeah,
they have all the lines up.
Oh, for
real? They have all the lines up. There's like, yeah, we don't care about that. Their G League team is on the bench and hurt. So
that's
I
true.
mean,
That's true.
you're
a lot of these guys are probably going to play, right?
Edmund, Davidson, Struz, Robinson, Heisman. That's crazy.
Dude, I gotta scroll, and I'm even zoomed out a little bit for this game. That's classic. Classic
so
Heat.
Funny.
7-point spread, Boston. Man, Boston's been... Dude, how about this? Boston Heat? It's so crazy. Like, these two teams, thinking about last season versus this season, 227 total.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild? Dude, Boston Heat last season would have been like 198 in a lot of those playoff games. But man, Boston's been insane offensively and really hasn't been like a juggernaut defensively either. Like they're definitely solid and they've got like solid defensive players, but I think the terrified of Boston Celtics defense isn't really a thing as much this season.
Yeah.
So we can peek ahead. I like this. I like the pace. You're kind of pacing me up. This is a pace up spot for Will on the stream.
Yeah. I got you. I'm not a big fan of Tatum here against the Heat.
Yeah.
I know he's having a fantastic year, but needing 30 against a Heat team where I think he's only had over 30 once in his career against Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. Not my favorite spot.
Yeah, and they're so strong individually defensively, and I think we've seen, obviously Tatum's had crazy scoring games, but he is very willing with the weapons around him to these like doubles off of screens. He's very willing to move the ball. Like he's not a guy that's gonna super sicko ball hog if that's what the defense is giving him. So
yeah, which is a good point. Let's check his assist line real quick. Now that you say that. Yeah, four flat on underdog, which is nice. You get that little safety blanket. I really like that. I think it's a very safe play. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and in a game that you expect to be close, I think that's another kind of nice nod for this one. Decent total.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna write that down. For Tatum at least, because again, I can't agree more. I think. He does struggle against the Heat, which makes sense. They're a tough team. And yes, he's having a great year, but asking for 30 on this team, it's not something I want to put my money on. And so, like you said, he is a very willing passer and he's a good passer. We haven't seen it a ton this year, hence this line maybe being that low. But we have seen it against the Heat in teams like this where they can switch and they can on-ball defense super well. So yeah, I do like that flat line.
I think he had 4. I think he's averaging. They played twice this season?
Once. Wait.
I think they might have played twice.
I think what's his face was out for one of them. Jimmy Butler.
Gotcha.
Yeah, they did play twice because it's just this last game. The other game he had 49. Jimmy Butler didn't play, I don't think. Right. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Jimmy Butler didn't play, boom, 49. Jimmy Butler plays, boom, 29. But I mean, Tatum was just on fire, 8 for 12 from threes. Yeah, I don't love him to do that again. And so, I like the assist numbers to be up a little bit more and the points numbers to be down a lot more. So, feel good about that one. Heat side, Bam versus the Celtics 5. Celtics 5 is usually a weaker spot for them defensively. Bam has been playing a bit better. 19 points better, though. Needing 20. Did it last game, but again, no Jimmy Butler.
Yeah.
He shot a
Yeah,
lot more than he will if he plays.
I don't love it. Like I agree with like the look and the matchup, but
Yep,
yeah, it's
too high.
I think it just might be too high. And it's
Yeah,
not even
this
like
is
I feel great
it's
about either way, you know.
yeah, it's frustrating because these are the guys too where it's like these matchups are like they're too high, like but like they definitely can do it. So it's like you don't want to go
Yeah.
under. Like stuff
Said
like last night, like with Isaiah Stewart, right? 10.5. I thought that was too high. I didn't like the matchup, and I felt good going under because it's not like Stu is this transcendent offensive player that can just on any given night pop off like
yeah.
guys like Bam or Tatum. So like Stewart's the guy that I'm like, yeah, let's go under, let's do it. Bam, Tatum, I'm okay. These are small.
He
Like,
can
these are
just
all
be so efficient. Like you look
yeah.
at these. So they play twice this season, and if you pull it up, we're talking about Bam right now. Obviously the 23-point game, but his 19-point game, he had another game, 19 points. He was on 8 for 11 shooting, 3 for 4 from the line. It's just those kind of like super efficient games in a game with Jimmy is it's not really like that 19 point. Like 19 and 23 looks pretty good for him to cover 19 and a half, but I don't have a bunch of like confidence off of 8 for 11 shooting in a game, you know?
Yeah. I'm gonna look at Kyle Lowry here. The points I don't love. I think it's a perfect line for Lowry right now
Yeah.
in this matchup. I actually think Lowry does better with Butler on the court with him. So I would like to see for sure if Butler's playing, which we don't know yet, don't we? No, we don't.
I think he probably does, but you just never know with these Heat guys, even when they're likely to play. It's just the injury report is a
And yeah, we don't have an assist line for him. Let me check his PRA real quick. 20. Yeah, we don't have a PRA line. Okay.
yeah. Marcus Smart 7
Yeah.
flat assists. I don't know if any of these.
Because the guys that I would want to go on is honestly Harrow and Butler, and we're waiting to hear about them. So
Yeah.
I'm okay moving on.
Yeah. Do you want to move on? Do you want to take a peek at threes real quick? Let's do that
Yep.
real quick, and then we can move on.
Yeah, let's look at Jimmy. Not Jimmy.
Actually, I don't see any threes. That's probably okay. We can move on.
Yeah, there's no 3 lines. Jalen Brown 2.5. Yeah, they're all a little tight anyway.
Actually, let's go to this next one here. Cleveland, Orlando. Here 10.5 spread. This might be like one of those, a lot of these injuries too. We'll take a look obviously, but 10.5 spread, 217 total.
I don't agree with that actually.
The 10.5.
No.
You think it should be closer? What's
Yes.
the Canyon spread? No Wendell Carter, but
5.5.
but no Jared Allen. So,
5.5. I like the way Orlando matches up against Cleveland with no Jared Allen.
yeah, I think with no Jared Allen specifically is
you're running Diakite at the 4, Dean Wade at the 3. Like I don't. Yeah, the guards are the guards.
Yeah.
The guards can exploit really.
right.
Poorly.
I feel like you'd feel a lot better if like
But the way that this like matchup is shifting down, I like Franz Wagner and Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, we can
more
take a look.
than like if it was Terrence Ross starting, then I would be like, yeah, it's wraps.
Yeah, it's pretty low team total for the Magic, so maybe that can be kind of a advantage thing. That's something you tend to look at on props, right? Vegas gives a pretty low implied total when it's a 10.5 point spread and a kind of low total already. So we can let's pull this up.
Banchero's at 19.5. I don't hate that. I like his matchups.
I like that. No Wendell Carter too.
Or no Wendell Carter, whether it's Diakite or Dean Wade. Diakite he was a good college defender at least. But.
Yeah, it's not a. I mean, it's Banchero too. Like I am less worried about okay matchups defensively for what Banchero's shown. Yeah, I think that 19.5 is pretty nice. You got Fultz back, right? But no Wendell Carter, I think is nice.
Yeah, let me look at. Yeah. 19.5.
Yeah, I mean, in this most recent stretch, right? We've seen 4 games with Carter injury for Banchero when he's been back. 19, 18, 24, 20. I mean, the line's pretty fair and accurate. I think you feel better about it when it's not Jared Allen and Mobley defensively.
Yeah, I think Banchero points is probably my favorite here. I was curious to see what Wagner's was, but 17.5 is a little high for Wagner. I don't think he's.
You're the Wagner guy though.
I like him defensively in this matchup. I don't like offensively. It's like I don't look at. He's not like he's not a shooting guard. Like he's lining up a shooting guard, but he's not like a shooting guard where it's like your job is to go score. Like it's not really what he does.
Yeah,
he can. But like he's a 3.
Now I will say though, I mean Wagner, the same kind of thing we did for Banchero has looked pretty good for Wagner in these games with Banchero back and without Wendell Carter. 24-17, 21-22, but still I think it's just a fair line. But I mean when you get the 2-point difference between these two guys, I think Banchero I feel better about just from a volume perspective.
Yeah, I do too. I like his matchup the most because again he's not going to be like. I like where his kind of gap is, right? He's not going to be going into Mobley a lot because you got like 2 guys ahead of him, like Bobo and Bamba, or whoever they end up playing at the 5. This could all get shifted up, honestly, if Bamba goes out.
In which case it's still but I mean they've shown a willingness to play Bobo decent minutes, so he's definitely
no, I know, but I'm thinking if Bamba's out, I think it shifts up to like Bobo at this 5 and then Banchero at the 4, Wagner at the 3. And
I get what you're saying. Okay, gotcha.
Someone else.
Yeah.
But yeah, give me Banchero. That's the one that feels the best to me.
Yeah. Now, what about these Cavs guys? We talk about the Cavs against the Magic guards, 25.5 for Donovan Mitchell, 23.5 for Garland. Any of those guys appealing to you?
Yeah, they're actually pretty low lines. I'm not gonna lie. 25.5 for Donovan Mitchell is not terrible. Like these lines versus what they think this game is gonna be, like an 11-point favorite.
Yeah.
Having them only at 25 and 23 is a little weird. I like Mitchell a little bit more. I'm gonna look at the assists here for Garland.
Yeah, Mitchell just had an awful shooting game when they played. I think it was end of October. I'll pull it up here. He was like
Garland's at 9 flat.
Yeah, Mitchell shot 5 for 19 and 1 for 7 from 3. 14 points. Just an awful shooting game.
Mitchell or Garland?
Mitchell.
Yeah.
That was 26th October.
Garland's at 20. Yeah, give me Mitchell over Garland in this. I wanted to go Garland assist, but it's at 9 flat. I don't love that. Like banking on a double-double. It'd probably get better odds just going double-double.
Donovan Mitchell at 4.5. Interesting to you at all?
Not really. Maybe. I don't.
Yeah, he had 8. He had 8 the last time they played, but I mean, obviously, it's a different.
His production is just so much more higher variance to me, so I don't love it. I think Banchero is the only one that's speaking to.
That's speaking to you. Yeah. Yeah, I'm cool too. I'm cool to move on. This was kind of a weird game initially. I think there's some more interesting games. So let's go to this next one here. Lakers Bucks. There's a couple injury question marks. I think we might get some lines though, because I think the expectation is AD and LeBron play. And Chris Middleton might make his return. I think it's pretty expected. I think that was the report, is that this was what he was setting for. 231 total, 8.5 Bucks spread. Man, isn't it just crazy? The Bucks are 15-5, and they're now getting Chris Middleton back.
Yeah, it's also crazy they're only 8.5 favorites too.
Yeah, it's crazy they almost lost to the Pistons.
Sorry, right? Lakers team. Yeah, well, the Pistons are dogs, so
yeah, that's true. They match up.
The Lakers are spoiled kids.
Who just waved Matt Ryan, man. All right, we'll pull this up. Drew, 18.5. Are any of these like Bucks lines a little bit weirder to you with Middleton back? It's a wrist injury. Which is, I think, a little bit different to me than something like knee soreness or coming back from an ACL or a knee injury. Like, he was out for significant time, but I don't know. We'll see what these Middleton lines end up looking at. Would you be tempted to take a Middleton over if it was 14.5? It's just too spooky.
Yeah,
I haven't seen any harsh reports on like minutes restrictions, but obviously these first game backs, a lot of times it's just a toss up.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're gonna, make him have a higher usage game.
It will probably take a week before he's back to like what you expect from him season long. I think that's just like expected.
yeah, whether there's a minutes restriction or not, I think he probably just eases into it personally.
He
They
loves
can, they can
shooting,
be like,
man.
hey,
He does love shooting.
yeah, but too bad his injury is the wrist. um,
True, true. All right, we'll take a look at some of these other. You got LeBron. We don't have a line for LeBron. Probably an injury thing. AD at 23.5. Giannis at 31.5. Any of these interesting to you?
uh, I'm looking at assists right now. I glanced over points. Nothing crazy to me there.
Yeah.
AD maybe, but I think Giannis will be on AD a good amount, so that kind of scares me. Um, LeBron's at 5.5 assists, which I mean, I don't care what's going on in that team, who's on the court. Like 5.5 is just low for LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The Lakers can just shoot league average from three. He's smashing that.
yeah, I know. That's the thing, and the Bucks are probably the best defensive team in the league.
Mm-hmm. I know Russ.
Uh,
Russ has had some pretty. Yeah, a couple of this is some like higher Russ usage games, right? You've had some LeBron missing some time, but you prefer LeBron to Russ if both of those lines are at 5.5.
ooh.
They're both pretty close on the season from a potential assist perspective, but I think you could argue that Russ has had some usage inconsistencies in some of these games with injuries with AD and LeBron.
Definitely could argue that. Actually, I do think I like Russ more. I totally glanced over that. But to go back to points, we don't have a LeBron points line.
Yeah.
I was
No,
gonna
I
throw
think I like
it.
both of them. Honestly, I do agree that I think in this new role for Russ and just the Russ we've seen over this most recent stretch, I do kind of like that assist line.
Is Giannis at 31.5 with Middleton back? Is that scary or weird to you?
Mm,
I mean, he's been playing really well lately,
yeah,
but
it's just one of those he's probably gonna hit. I feel like here's my thing. I think we do this thing where it's like as like
okay.
player prop guys, it's so hard to like feel confident one way or the other for guys like Giannis at like 30, 31.5. Because for me, it's just yeah, he probably is gonna hit it. I don't feel like extra confident against the Lakers or anything. He's been amazing.
I kind of want to go under on it. I just feel like it's a little high with Middleton being back. I like the matchup, like for the under with AD
Yeah.
or LeBron, um, on him. I feel like it's a good little trap game for Giannis. I mean, he's gonna have to shoot like almost 30 times to get this with ease. I know he's been covering this lately, but like
Yeah.
Middleton back is gonna take 5 to 8 shots away. You have a
Yeah,
good
I don't know if
matchup.
I have the balls to take a Giannis under at this point. It's a
I
high
might.
total game too. Like you would not, neither of us would be shocked if the Lakers. I mean, I
Which,
guess
yeah,
I would be like
is something that I also disagree with, which kind of
the
helps
total,
my
the eight and a
narrative in my
half.
head. Yeah,
You think
eight and a half.
this should
Well,
be closer to like 11.5? I think if AD and LeBron play, um,
I just think it should be a lower total and a higher spread.
this one's
Which
in
kind of
Is this one in Milwaukee?
yes,
Yeah. Yeah, I probably think it's probably 10.5. I think I'd give this game. It's not this is not the way to do things, and the spreads are similar, so it makes sense. I would have given this game the same percentage odds in my mind for that Pistons Mavs games to be close. The way that I see these two teams,
okay, that's fair.
does that make sense? We were at
Yeah,
like a 25% like blowout percentage. I feel
yeah,
pretty similarly about this one.
okay,
So in that
yeah,
logic, I'm taking Lakers money line is what we're saying.
yeah. Go for it.
Yeah. No, you will not
Make
catch me
my
taking the
day.
Lakers money
Make
line
mine
against any above average team. I
or any game.
refuse to donate
I
or
don't think
any game.
I've
Yeah.
ever put
You
money
don't
on
need
that
to
in
rank the
6
team to
years.
do that.
No,
No, it's just, yeah. I don't know if it's just my respect for LeBron of just like, I just can't like talk about him as like a blowout risk in these games, but it probably is the case.
um, unfortunately, there's 4 other guys on the court that make a difference. So
That's
yeah,
true.
it's
Yeah.
okay.
Is there any other things you want to look at, or do you want to move on? I know we peeked at some of those assist lines, but I think Drew's is just like fair with Chris
Yeah,
back and everything. It's just kind of
yeah. Chris back, Pat Bevan there. Like I can fade Drew here.
yeah.
Chris being back is interesting to mix it up for the Bucks guys, and then we're waiting on some injury news. And defensively, the Bucks are too good. I'm fading this game.
It's so interesting though because it's a massive total. Not massive. It's a really nice total. 231, but it is an 8.5 point spread.
Honestly, that might be like my favorite play of the night, or in this game. I mean, is the under on that total. I don't love that total.
Are you doing a little Bucks under?
Kinda. Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sprinkle that in there. I mean, I like them apples. Yeah, let's go
to
the
Schroeder either. I'm gonna be honest. I like Schroeder, but we'll keep moving. Brooklyn, Toronto. We got a lot of guys back for Toronto over this past stretch. Love to see it.
I like this game.
I do
this
too.
Game, I think
1.5 point spread, 223.5 total.
I agree with that.
No Ben Simmons, but you got Kyrie and KD, and we're missing the greatest 3-point shooter in the league, unfortunately, tonight.
Simmons?
No, Watanabe. What is he shooting this season over this past stretch?
This doesn't matter.
Oh, come on.
Do we go under Kyrie Irving?
Just matchup?
Just Kyrie Irving. Been very weird this year.
Yeah.
He's picked up a little bit lately, but...
Right. I mean, it's so tough. Like, I think we both agree that we did the same thing with, like, it's different than the 3-point lines, but I kind of feel the same way about Kyrie as I do with some of those 3 points. Like, I feel like Kyrie is... I mean, he's been better down the stretch, too. But before this, like, better stretch, I kind of had a feeling Kyrie was going to be better at some point.
Yeah, he actually torched the Raptors last game, too. He had 29 and 28 minutes.
It's just too low. I think it's too low of a line to, like, take the stance on Kyrie under. You know, like, if it was a normal last season Kyrie line, I could definitely entertain it. But, yeah. 16.5 for Van Vliet.
I'm actually starting to convince myself to go over on him.
On Kyrie?
Yeah.
You went full circle on it?
Yeah, I don't love... I think Van Vliet's probably their weakest link defensively. Maybe Thaddeus Young, but it's like... I'm not going to put the house on Nick Claxton.
I'm taking an executive decision to look at these assist lines.
I'm already on them.
Yeah.
5 flat for Siakam is nice.
Yeah.
Juicy.
It's juicy.
He had 11 last time they played. 37, 12, 11 last time they played. Why is it so low? Just because of his last couple games? Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of interesting though, because what is he since his return? Let me look this up real quick.
I'll take that over 5.5 too.
4 and 5 in the last 2 games. It's not like he's even shooting that much more.
I love that line.
Even shooting less, honestly.
There's so much value on the under of 5.5 too. -132.
I know, dude. Do you ever get scared, or are you like a confident enough sports bettor to like stand firm?
Oh, I'm confident.
Yeah. I
mean, how about if I just know the book? I would have just like, what are we doing here? I would just,
11 potential over the past 2 games. These 2 games back, 5 and 4. So it's not even like the lower assist numbers in this line is like super efficient assists, right? Like 11 to 5 is pretty league average, or if not worse than league average, or not league average, but for high usage guys.
They've also been working with, they're changing their starting lineup a lot lately, like doing really weird things with it, which probably impacts a lot.
Scotty,
they run this 5. Yeah, if they run this 5, like it's expected, I think there's no reason for me to think that he doesn't.
Yeah, no, I like this game too. I think this game can be a sneaky high scoring game. Should be a close one. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, Nets defensively aren't really scary. Their best defensive player is probably Durant, and so if anything, you like the odds of him sharing the ball, which he can do anyway, whether it's a good defender or not. He's a smart player, so I like the matchup that other guys have, like Barnes and O'Neal, Anunoby on Harris. They just have like so much better size, and so you give Siakam the ball on the elbow and just find an Anunoby or Barnes in the right, cut, post, or 3. Like I like his assists. Give me it.
All right. You wanna pick anything else? You wanna look at threes real quick?
Yeah, we can look at threes. I'm gonna look at
You
steals
can
and blocks
peek
for
these.
Anunoby
Yeah.
real quick.
You get these two Toronto guys.
They don't have it.
And
Fine.
none
All
of
right.
these threes are super appealing. I just can't bring myself to play KD threes.
They don't have Van Vliet. Katie's at 1.5.
Yeah, here's the thing with KD 1.5. It always looks good. Like it always looks like it should be a part of the rotation. But if you just kind of look at him, he's just like he has these 2-for-3 games. He has a game where he shot 12 threes, and then a 37-minute game where he I guess he shits. Shot 1 3. 0 for 1.
I do have to shit too.
Yeah. All right. We'll keep it moving then. I'll move it quick for you. A lot of injuries in this Spurs Pelicans game. 7-point spread for the Pels. Really high total, 232. Spurs have had some really high total games, but no Bi, no Herb Jones, no Pirtle, no Sohan, probably no Dougie McBuckets.
We get 4. What are we saying for Dyson Daniels in this game?
Oh, jeez. Is that the signal to move on to a more fun game? Is when you're asking about Dyson Daniels PRA.
Dude, I love Dyson Daniels.
I know.
They don't have PRA at least. They have his
Val 12.
What are we doing? Give me Dyson Daniels line.
22, Zion 25. These odds are pretty sharp.
They're scared to give me Dyson Daniels.
Where's my Trey Murphy threes line?
What?
2.5.
Valanciunas, 12.5 for Val.
I know. Yo, what's up, Gerald? How do you guys like Zion over 4.5 assists? Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Well, let's take a peek. I think this is one of those underdog lines that you are getting plus. Like you can get it for even odds on a couple books. But I guess just naturally you like 4.5. Let me look at this closer.
Not really. I think he's just gonna have his way with the Spurs team.
I know. No Pirtle too.
Yeah, no Pirtle and like no Bi, which kind of helps with his assists as well.
Yeah, and I will say Zion's assists just overall in this season, his potential to actual has been pretty efficient. And it kind of makes sense, right? If you think about Zion offensively, like the passes that he is making when he is attacking or whatever that lead to shots. But he's 6.8 potential to just over 4 actual, which is like hyper efficient. I mean, a lot of players in the league, you're looking at like a 50% hit rate. If you just think about pass to field goal attempt, the odds that shot goes in and leads to an assist, 50%. So anything above when you're pushing like 65 is pretty kooky. So I'm not a huge fan. Sorry, what's up?
I really like Valanciunas rebound.
Ooh, yeah.
8.5. I think they're just a little worried. I don't think they know the minutes he's going to get.
What happened?
But, if he plays 26 minutes like he has been in a couple of these last games in this matchup, which I think he should. I mean, no Pirtle. One, that's a matchup to exploit. But, like, two, Zach Collins is back and he's filling in. So it's not like I don't think they'll play small against this team because they do have length, like with Bates Diop, Keldon Vassell, and Collins. It's not like
that would be my only worry, though. I think you could argue that the Pels, this could be an opportunity for them to play small. I know you got no Herb, no Bi. So like if you just look at like players that they would play, but the no Pirtle is a little spooky. Just because I think the Spurs could go small too. Like, I don't think any of those other big guys, like, I know they're long, but, like, if you think about, like, wanting to play Val in some of these games where he's had weird minutes, you disagree?
I disagree. I don't think you can win the small ball matchup against the Spurs team because the Spurs can play small with you, but they're going to be much longer than the Pelicans are when they're small. And so I think they win that small ball matchup. So I think they're going to want to, and then they're going to want to go Zion, obviously, in there.
Yeah.
And I think Zion and Valanciunas, Spurs don't have two guys to deal with both of them.
I think if I would have seen, I just get so scared with Val, man. The minutes have been so weird this season. But I hear you. I think that
Yeah,
it's not a bad spot. Like, I'm not looking at this as like, no, this is the game they're going small ball. It's one of those like that spooks me a little. But I think if he plays 26 minutes, he's hitting this.
Right, and I think that's why I like it so much, because I think you can exploit that, because his minutes have been inconsistent, so it's a fair thing to be worried about. But I think that's why, you look at the matchups, and to me, I think they should be playing Valanciunas 20 to 30 in the 20-ish minutes range.
We're not the coach though, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Gerald and I are in the same boat.
You gotta
try to be no bet list. I lost 3 times betting him, so inconsistent. Yeah, but I get what Kanan's saying. I totally get what you're saying.
You get those. If you are sometimes you just gotta be the coach, man. And if you play him for those 26 minutes, it's just you smash this. But I get it; it is very scary.
Wait, can I? I'm gonna do this really quick.
He played 26 minutes last time I played.
Let's do this. This is we're a little behind the scenes. I have a folder with players for player props that we show up. I don't know if this is a sign, but I don't have Val. That's like an image to throw up. That's tough.
All right, well, I'll put that as an honorable mention.
Meanwhile, I have $7, guys. That was the last folder we were in. I don't have Val. That's a sign.
Sorry. We don't
all right. Sorry.
I might play it personally.
I'm gonna look at assists. I do. I'm intrigued by some of these assist guys. I want to see what Trey Jones is at. I think Trey. Oh, his line's so high. Wow. I honestly really like Trey Jones' assist without Pirtle. I know it sounds kind of weird, but I think the way the offense runs, Trey is oddly enough in a better spot without Pirtle for assists, which doesn't really make sense, but
yeah.
The numbers don't back me up in the 2 games Pirtle's missed with Trey this season, but
small sample size.
Yeah. I mean, the books back me up, right? His line's at, minus 140 at 7.5. So the books agree with me.
It's a good person to have on your side.
Right. Vegas thinks I'm right. I was really hoping for like a 7 flat or 7.5, just because he has had 2 bad assist games, not bad, 4 and 5 without Pirtle. But if you just like think about the way the Spurs play, so many possessions are like Pirtle top of the key. And when Trey's bringing the ball up and gets the ball to Pirtle up there, it's just like very rarely is Pirtle taking that to the rim. Like, it's moving around to like Vassell and Johnson and stuff. So, but no, I'm not going to harp on that.
I don't hate McCollum points either.
Yeah, I do think it's a good line. I did like that.
Probably my favorite points line here.
Yeah.
So I had 25.5 time by average, it's still a little too pricey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good value at like minus 125. Like, there's favor on the books. You get good value on underdog with that. You get a 20-point game out of it. He didn't play in that Spurs game that they played last time. And I mean, as far as offensive usage goes, right, you kind of cancel out Valanciunas because of his inconsistencies. You're pretty much left with McCollum and Zion. Dyson Daniels not going to be a high offensive guy. Trey Murphy is going to pull from 3.
I know. I've got the 3-point lines pulled up, and I know it's a pretty even odds bet, right? But man, Trey Murphy might be my favorite 3-point line that's on underdog. Wait, is it the only one? I was looking at some of the others. I don't think it's a smash. I just like it, man. I think this is one of those games where you probably do see Trey play the like big minutes that we've seen from him, and when he does that, he just shoots 6-7 plus threes, and he's been so good from 3 this season. He's shooting like 41%.
Yeah, I do like that too.
It's just I don't think I feel confident enough, especially with it being a 3-point line, but I feel pretty good. If this line was 6 plus 3-point attempts, I would take it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which I think correlates to you liking the odds for him to hit 3 plus, but I'm not going to sit here and act like it's an amazing play.
Yeah.
We can move on. I think this game's pretty intriguing, but not a super high total. 217 total for Memphis Sixers. 5-point spread. Still no Harden. No Bane.
No Maxey, no Bane.
Yeah, no Maxey, no Harden, no Bane.
No Bane, no gain.
Yeah, and it's a pretty. I get that this could be
What's
not
my boy
the
Shake
super
at?
high
17 and a
high pace game
half.
you want to see from this one.
Cheese, dude. You got to beat at 31 and a half. All right, fair enough.
All right, let's power through. We're coming up on an hour here.
Yep.
You're supposed to keep me. You're supposed to make it a pace up spot for me in the stream. Come on, man.
Okay. Shake Millen 17 and a half is slide.
Jaren Jackson 15 and a half. It's an interesting line. I wish the total wasn't so low.
It's weird that it's a 217 total, but they have Embiid and Ja at 30 each. I mean, I guess there's really no supporting cast to kind of push 20s either.
Yeah,
so that's probably why.
It's just a low total game for these two teams, and I really could see this being a lower pace game than people expect.
I wanted to look at Dillon Brooks 3 line. I like Dillon Brooks at 18 and a half actually.
You like it more than Jaren Jackson, just defensively.
Yeah, and I'm not sold on Jaren Jackson. He's too consistent.
Yeah, me neither.
He's not a hot starter, but
yeah,
I guess you just ride the hot hand with 15 and a half. He's got a good. Let's see what's his.
The PJ Tucker under 4.5 finally lost. Yeah, what was that stretch of like?
That's awesome.
No field goals. Wait, is it? Did I miss it?
Yeah, I think I like Dillon Brooks the most. I'm not gonna lie to you.
All right. We can move. Let's look at some of these peripherals. We've been too pro Dillon Brooks on the stream. I'm gonna be honest. It has hit though.
No, I don't think we've been.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I just
Bane,
I just
right?
don't love Dillon Brooks. I know it's a good spot. I know.
It's a good spot. Jaren Jackson's got a tough matchup.
Yeah,
Adams isn't gonna do squat. I think Brooks shoots like 20 times.
He probably does have a pretty decent volume game. Yeah, I don't hate it. All right, I'm peeking over at assist. Just at 8 flat. I don't love that. Yeah, we're not getting we actually aren't getting a lot of assist lines. It's literally just Ja, Embiid, and Milton.
Gross. All right, let's keep moving then.
Yeah.
Rockets Suns or
we can go Rockets Suns.
No
Chris Paul. Family man.
If Jabari Smith cannot exploit Ish Wainwright, I don't know what's wrong.
11.5 point spread.
11.5 point spread.
Total.
Come on, Jabari.
All right, let's yeah.
I want to go Jabari.
Do we still go with the 8 and hot streak? Yeah, I mean, how do you feel about? I know Şengün. I think he's pretty underrated matchup wise.
A little undersized, but
yeah, for
he's
sure.
a good defender. What's 8 and at? 19 and a half.
19 and a half.
I don't love that. I don't.
What's your boy Jabari at? We got
if we take Ayton at 19 and a half, we have to take Brooks at 18 and a half. Brooks is going to shoot more. He's a scorer more than Ayton is. It's a closer game. This could be a blowout watch.
Are you planning a flag on Jabari? At 11 and a half?
I kind of want
it should hit. It's so frustrating, right?
I mean, Ish Wainwright is actually kind of a...
No, but I'm more even talking about just Jabari. But I can't confidently say that, just what we've seen from this season. But man, I mean, he's in these games where he plays 30 plus minutes, he's just gonna shoot it 12 times, you know? I wish he was better. He's been shooting better from 3 in this recent stretch. Jalen Green under points, he's on the road. How about he's a fraud? That's your no, I'm just kidding. We're Pistons fans. Is that a thing? Do Pistons fans still just not like Jalen Green because he was just kind of a tool?
It's not like an active thing. When I see his face, I'm like, ugh. But it's not I don't seek out any kind of hostile act.
It's kind of cute though.
He is kind of cute. He's got some good fashion.
No flame.
He's got style. He's got style for sure.
Yeah, definitely. All right. I'm kind of intrigued by some of these assist lines. No, I agree. I think I totally get that comparison. If you're going 8 in points, how can you not like Brooks? I do think the spot's pretty good. Obviously points on the Suns side. We've seen this hot streak of games with no Chris Paul and Ayton. It's kind of funny, right? You take Chris Paul out of the equation, who hasn't been shooting a ton, but campaign's kind of just been Chris Paul Jr.
Yeah. What about KPJ assists? 5.5.
Read my mind. I went right there.
I kind of like that.
I do kind of like KPJ 5.5. Campaign 7.5. Yeah, I can't do that.
Can we go KPJ 5.5?
I like it.
Bogdanovic
Bogdanovic over, and that other clown's under from last night. Hey, let's pull it up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Low key, and I'll acknowledge that we were liking Luka rebounds. Also, we just hate rebounds, so that was probably part of the knock.
I'm glad that we went 3 out of 3. We could have went 5 out of 5 in a game where it's the Pistons and Mavs. Those are the two teams I probably watch the most. Big Luka guy and big Pistons guy. So
there's a realistic world
flex our prowess there a little bit
where we would have played Stewart points. Wow, yeah, it was sketchy too. If you guys, I mean, it looked amazing, right? It's just what player props look like. What are you, 3 in the first half, and then
you could have told me that game was going to overtime while we were streaming, and I've been like, I'll still take the under. Give him the extra time. Man, I'm that confident. I planted my flag and it hit. I was biting my nails for 30 minutes, but it still hit.
He really
He should have.
I will say he should have hit. Like you can do these like should have either side. That's a 40 trail. He really should have hit. I'm gonna be honest. Like we're not here gonna pop off about like Isaiah Stewart when he had 9 points for literally like the whole fourth and OT. Yeah. Shot like 12 times. Should have hit for sure. No, I think it definitely was close with the overall volume, like considering overtime too. But yeah, do you even shoot an OT?
No. But also, I mean, we did say like the matchup was going to be kind of tough, and so going 4 for 12 is kind of
low key. What was it? 5? We decided on Fiverr because we had kill assists that we liked. Bagley points. Was the other one. Probably 5 if you really like put our feet to the fire. Probably 5 out of 6 if you count Luka rebounds. But no, 6 out of 7 because we liked PRA. All right, let's let me go back to this. Now I was yelling at the TV, didn't take any shots. Yeah, it's tough, man. I will say, like, I'm gonna give the props to Canyon on that one because I wasn't against it, but I wasn't as confident as Canyon was. Canyon, that was a flag plant for Canyon.
It was.
Happy hit for you. Us.
Yeah. I won some money last night off it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, same here. Yeah, I played those 3. Okay. KPJ, we said KPJ assists to that 5.5 line.
Yeah, I like it.
Is that your favorite play in this game?
Probably. I kind of want to do a plant the flag on Jabari over 11.5, but it's kind of a weird guy to do it on, so I'm not gonna get cute with it.
Yeah, no, I like KPJ. I think this game, I don't think. How worried are you about a blowout in this one?
Pretty worried.
That's the only thing I'll bring up with KPJ assist, but I think it's a really good spot and a good line. I mean, you see I know it looks some of these books, or I guess just one. You know, we got minus 120, 126, 125 on the over. KPJ's been like a 12, 13 potential assist guy this season. It just looks like a pretty good spot too. So we can move on, close out here. Final 2 games, Pacers, Jazz. I'll take KPJ off the screen, even though I like looking at ya. 238.5 total. This is what we live for. Please play Hallie. Questionable. We'll see. 4.5 point spread. I was gonna say we probably know Pacers lines. Makes sense. No Conley tonight. You want to take a look at any part of these like Sexton lines? You want to take a look at? Oh man, he's got way more respect than I anticipated. I really thought he'd be a 16-17 guy. I know it only sounds like 1 or 2 points, but I mean it's probably fair, right? He's been pretty solid in these games without Conley, where he's gonna play starter minutes.
Yeah, I don't love it.
We can look elsewhere. Did you guys see the second half of the Sacramento Pacers game? Over bettors were lit. I didn't watch it live, but I did see that. I'm a big rewatch late at night, next morning guy.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to watch, especially like nights like this.
Dude, I know when there's like massive slates. I love the NBA, dude. I wish there was like a legit way for like red zone for the NBA to like work well, because I know they have some like around the league like 4-box stuff that I'll like try out, but I don't know. It's hard.
Yeah, the 4-box is like the best bet, but still.
I just gotta what I need is the setup, because I have multiple monitors and I will put on multiple games at once. But you ever see that like LeBron? I think it was LeBron. He had the setup with like 9 screens that he could make one massive screen or have like 9 different games on. That's the future. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Use code Canyon on Underdog. 100% deposit match up to $100. Get you winning some money on there and get me 9 TVs in my office.
Yeah.
There we go. Or our Canyon's office too, I guess. All right, any of these points jumping out to you? We can kind of move quickly through these last two.
Maybe Markkanen, not sold on it. I would love to see the Pacers guy.
It's a really good game, man. 230.
I do like Markkanen. 22.5 at a 238 total.
I really hope Hallie plays. I think he's probably an actual game time decision from what I've seen. I don't know. Could you do a quick check? I'll pull up assists, but just to see the last thing we've seen on Hallie. I think he's an actual game time decision. That's the last thing I saw on it. I would love him to play. What'd you say? Did you say something?
I was saying, give me Markkanen. I like Markkanen.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, we can move on to the next one. We'll try to figure out this Hallie stuff.
Yeah, I want a quick look.
Yeah, he's questionable this morning, 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna make a game time decision.
Yeah.
51 minutes ago. Still.
Yeah, I don't think either of these like the tough thing is I really want to like Clarkson or Sexton assist lines tonight. But it's just I think even in this game, it's just a pretty fair line. They've both been like 9-10 potential assist games in this like 6-game stretch without Conley. So I don't feel like super hyper confident. I think you obviously give the nod to the over on those lines just because of the game, but I don't know if I feel like amazing about it. I'll take a peek at Laurie rebounds. I will say, Gerald, I don't know if we've said it. We say it a lot in these streams. We are rebound haters for the most part, unless we like really like a spot. What do you think it is? Do you think it's a deep down thing? Like there's something deeper psychologically with us not liking rebounds? I don't feel like I can point to. I think what it is I think points, threes, assists. I can, as a player prop. I don't want to say capper. I feel so cringe whenever I say that. But as somebody that like research and looks into player props, I feel like I can point to things for the other peripherals and scoring more than I can for rebounds, you know? Like we can talk about matchups all we want, but like potential rebounds, like expected rebounds, those are it's just really tough to like actually correlate to finding advantages on lines.
I think there's still things that you can look at that give you an edge when looking at rebounding props, right? There's pace. There's, field goal percentage of like the other teams or like schemes or like lineups or matchups,
right?
Stuff like
matchups.
That. But I think you come to that wall a lot sooner when you're researching rebounds.
Yeah.
Whereas I think you can go a lot deeper with the stuff with like
they're very the things are very obvious. It's he's playing against Draymond or whatever, or he's playing against a big who can't stretch the floor and is going to be in those spots. Like it's tough to like ball literally has to bounce your way 100% too. Yeah.
Pace up, more shots at the rim.
Yeah, I mean, like Luka rebounds last night, right? Like that game went to OT, and Luka doesn't cover rebounds. It's just
close.
Right. Yeah, it's just that kind of stuff's frustrating. All right, well, quick look at player threes. I don't know if we have a ton of these. Yeah, Laurie have 3. Ugh. Clarkson 3 flat. Okay, we can move on. Bulls Warriors, last game here, final game of the night. We'll close out here. What's up? 237 total. Another massive total. 7-point spread for the Dubs. Honestly, dude, these have been the two kind of like two fraud teams this season.
Give me Vooch.
Yeah.
What's his rebound?
Everywhere?
15.5 points. I like that. You're talking about rebounds. Let's go to Vooch rebounds. Vooch rebounds. 10.5. I like his points. I like Vooch points. I do.
Any PRA love for Vooch?
I was thinking about it. It's just like Vooch is a guy to me. I guess he does have some assist upside, but like,
I think it's one of those like matchups where you could see like a massive rebound game. Like I know it might not like always correlate to that, but we always talk about Golden State just being a team that is just never going to be a dominant rebounding team.
What is his PRA? Let me see that real quick. It is 29.5 on underdog. So that's what, 16, 13, and 1. I mean, there's just like he has to.
The scoring probably has to hit. It's really tough for him to.
Scoring. It's all scoring. Just give me scoring. 15.5, like 16 points against this sorry ass Warriors 5 defending. Like, just give me that.
If only they had a top overall big man on their team.
Yeah, if only had former number 2 pick on there. Yeah, that's funny. I remember when that draft like came out and like that was obviously.
What did somebody? I saw somebody tweet.
Gosh, it could be so good now.
Who would have thought that we would be talking about how the Warriors should have taken Killian Hayes?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Right.
That's funny. Okay. Yeah, I like Vooch. I think Vooch might be. That's just a really nice line in this game, man.
It's a great match.
You're usually a LaVine lover in these kind of like high scoring, decent pace games. Or you don't like LaVine as much?
I do like LaVine still. Mm-hmm. I get worried about the matchups and the switchability for the guards here against the Warriors. Mm-hmm. That's why I like to go Vooch, because I think his matchup is easy, like the best to exploit.
Yeah, it's tough. I wish we've seen some more like high volume shooting games from Vooch, but I think this is one of those games you could see that.
Yeah, that LaVine line is so sharp. I mean, he's been right around like 23, 21, 25, 22, 18, 27, 20, 21. Mm-hmm. It's just very sharp. The usage has also been pretty consistent around pushing 20, just getting over 20 shots. So around 20 shots a game. He's been around 40%. Like, he
shot the volume's been pretty good for LaVine this year. He's just not been shooting great, honestly. Yeah, just across the board. What is he shooting like? He's like 40%. From the floor.
The 3-point volume is what's interesting to me.
Yeah, 34%, 34.8% on the season, 40.7% from the field. That's worst in the past 5 years. Yeah.
Kind of like, what's his threes at? 2.5.
Yeah, we always have to click the Golden State threes, even though we never really want to take them. You just have to give respect of looking at them.
I actually really like 2.5 threes for LaVine too.
Oh yeah, no, I like that more than points. I think.
Yeah,
I know the last 2 games have been pretty bad, 1 for 6, 1 for 6. But if you just look at for the most part this season, he's been shooting like 4 for 11, 3 for 11, 5 for 10, had an over 5 game in 25 minutes, 4 for 11. Like he rarely shoots less than 6 times from 3. So even though he hasn't shot great from 3, he's actually been shooting better from 3 than the floor, like 35%, which is not great, but not awful. No, I like that. Anything else you want to talk about in this game, or you want to pick out some of our favorites, close out?
Yeah, let's get to the favorites, because I have a lot written down here that I think we have to sift through here. So
yeah, let's do it. So all right, so talk to me. I'll pull up the sheet here.
Yep. I've got 9 written down.
Okay. Wow. Nice little 9 pick. What's the return on a 9 pick?
Unfortunately, you can only go up to 5.
No, let's hear it. What do we got?
All right. Bruce Brown over 22.5 PRA.
Mm-hmm.
Bradley Beal over 5.5 assists. Jason Tatum over 4 assists. Banchero over 19.5 points. Siakam over 5 assists. Dylan Brooks over 18.5 points. KPJ over 5.5 assists. Vooch over 15.5 points. And LaVine over 2.5 threes.
Okay. I'm going to executive decision remove 1 if that's cool.
Love it. Do
it. I don't dislike Tatum assist, but I don't feel as safe about the 4 flat line as I do like some of these other plays.
Yep. Gone.
I'm gonna cut that one.
Good.
I think I just kind of like the rest of them. So I'm cool if you want to like knock it down to like our 5 favorite. Does that sound good?
Yeah, you can do 5. Do you want to get rid of KPJ or 5.5 because blow potential?
Yeah, I think if we like the other plays enough,
Yeah,
like I'm down with.
that one's
I know you really like Bane. I like that one too.
Bane. You mean Brooks?
Oh, sorry, Brooks. Yeah, I had Bane pulled up on the previous sheet.
And then the other one that I would maybe
18 and a half, right?
Yeah. The other one that I would maybe consider taking out is Bruce Brown over 22.5 PRA, just because it's like
Yeah.
it's a guy whose usage could be impacted with a Jamal Murray healthy. I know Mike Porter's still out, but it's
Yeah.
like might be the only one that's out as far as usage goes. And
Yeah,
could
we
see
tend to just
Bruce
naturally
Brown.
lean towards like we tend to, if we have to make a decision, leaning away from like the inconsistent usage guys, even though it is
Okay.
obviously a lower line in comparison. So I'm
All
cool
right.
with that.
So now we've got Beal, Boncaro, Siakam, Brooks, Vooch, and Levine. Do we want to get rid of one of Vooch or Levine for kind of some to avoid a little bit of negative correlation there?
Yeah.
Not that it's like crazy,
I'll
but
let you,
like
I like both of those. I'll let you take the pick
I do
between those two.
too. Let me do some. I'll give you my decision.
It's really funny because they're or I mean, do you want to do? I'm cool with. You want to do Levine over 2.5 threes because I like that more than his points. I'm cool with doing that over Vooch, but I like them both pretty equally. So I'll let you make the call between Levine threes and Vooch points.
I kind of want to go Vooch points.
Let's do it.
Okay.
It's already on the sheet. Funny enough. I put that in. I like that more than Levine points when I was thinking of it that way, so I put it on first. So, got you. All right, and then so I've got Banchero on here, Brooks, Vooch, and then Beal,
Oops.
and Siakam.
Beal, Boncaro, Siakam, Brooks, Vooch. Yep.
So give me lines. So it was Siakam was 5. He was flat, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And Beal was
5.5.
That's not letting me move that. Okay. All right, you ready?
Yep.
So we got Banchero over 19.5, Brooks over 18.5, Vooch over 15.5, Beal over 5.5, and Siakam over 5. If
I'll show you how great I am.
All right.
I wanna fly.
Let me show.
Take me far away. Give me a star to reach for. Tell me what it takes, and I'll go so high. I'll go so high.
I appreciate the stall. I usually have to ask for this while I get the thing ready. So I
My
appreciate it.
wings. I just like hate silence.
I
Oh
do
yeah, we're
too.
also streaming.
All right, here we go. So here are the 5 we like. And as a reminder too, and I just want to shout this out. I think anyone that plays player props, I think the worst thing you can do is just blindly take like a card that someone gave you. I think the best thing you can do is you pick and choose, take stuff you like, take stuff out, throw in your own stuff that you like, play them individually too. I think only doing max 5 picks is a really bad way to bankroll manage. I think you can do those occasionally, but I really do recommend, especially on like these underdog sites, taking like two or three of your favorites and doing those versus like taking 5 picks every single time and throwing it in and hoping to cash in those tickets. So as a reminder, 100% deposit match up to $100 if you use code Canyon. That is code Canyon. The link's in the description as well if you don't have an underdog account. Get you winning some money on there. But here's the 5 we like. I like these a lot. I'll probably be mixing and matching these as well, alongside some other, depending on some injury stuff. So we'll take a look. But appreciate you guys. Much love, Canyon. Any outro notes?
Best of luck tonight. USA tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. against the Dutch. Let's go USA.
I have to babysit a bunch of kids tomorrow morning, and one of the parents was like, "Oh, like I heard you got roped into watching the kids," and I was like, "Yes, and we are going to be watching World Cup."
World Cup. World Cup.
Peace out. Go blue and red and white.